Alright guys, so we're buttoning everything up. Maybe we can put this thing in here shortly. So next on the agenda is putting the clutch in. Now I realize the tripod is right on the air hose, so I'm going to clean this up with a bristle disc. And then do the same thing with the pressure plate. I've already done that a little bit. I don't want to do too much before the compressor comes on. And we'll shoot it with some brake cleaner. Wipe it off. I've already cleaned the clutch disc off. So I didn't have a clutch alignment tool for this. And I've done it before where you can kind of just eyeball it. But I went to work and I found a piece of scrap and I made one. So essentially that fits the splines. And that goes in the pilot bearing. I've already greased it when I put it on. And the clutch disc can go on. Oh, something neat I found too while I was cleaning this up. Let me see, and of course now I won't be able to find it. Right there. Looks like a 5 of 75, so apparently this clutch was manufactured in 1975, so it's been replaced. That'll keep everything concentric, so we're not fighting it, putting it in. And there's dowel pins. Line them up. Start a couple bolts. If they'll start. And I got my impact out and left it laying somewhere. So let me find that. All right, left it on the bench. According to the book, 25 foot-pounds. Okay. So I think we're ready to get this thing put back in here. We'll get set up for that and bring you back.
Okay, we have the engine up on the floor jack. We have to kind of balance it because it's a low profile jack and it's got this little step in it and it's kind of interfering, not letting it sit real flat. Plus the pad on this jack's pretty small. So we'll get it under the car and kind of balance it and then make sure everything's clear around the car and start lowering the car down over the engine. And then we start trying to wiggle it in, and eventually I grab the back of the car and put my feet on the exhaust and shove, and it pops right onto the splines of the transmission. Then we'll work on getting the bolts in it, the 4 that go around the bell housing of the transmission to the engine, and then it's just a matter of the rear mounts.
Okay, the engine is bolted to the transmission, so now all you have to do is bring this up the rest of the way. I want to make sure I'm going around the gasket in the back the proper way, since I went to all that trouble to cut the holes out of it. I want to make sure it sort of fits right. That feels pretty good. And then there's just a through bolt. Goes all the way through this mounting support right here. one on each side. And a nut on the bottom. Missed my washer somewhere. Okay. Alright, so fuel line to hook up, coil to hook up, oil pressure, sender, and temperature, and then the generator wires to hook up. I got the throttle linkage already hooked up from behind, so let me work on that stuff. Everything's in and hooked up. Got oil in it. None's pouring out on the ground yet. I just took the battery up, no smoke came out. I unhooked the power going to the coil since I don't have the distributor cap or plugs in it. I'm gonna crank it, see if it builds oil pressure, make sure there's no horrible sounds, and maybe we can get some fuel pulled back here. So, here goes. Let me make sure the clutch works like it should. It seems all right. Make sure we're in neutral. Are they moving?
Yep.
All right, here goes. All right, we got the muffler on, and we cranked it for a while and couldn't build oil pressure. So I put the plugs in, put the distributor cap on, hooked the oil pressure gauge, kind of up here where you can see it. And as soon as we hit the key, it started and had 50 pounds of oil pressure. So got the muffler on now, so it's not so loud. Have the timing light on it. So let's see what happens. So there's like 55 pounds, 60 pounds. Got the ignition timing light hooked to it. Supposed to be at 3 degrees after top dead center. And we're advanced like 11. So I'm gonna see if I can set it to factory. 3 degrees after. All right, so it runs, doesn't sound too bad. I got some exhaust leaks I got to deal with. So we're gonna stop for now.
Okay, I wasn't happy with the timing. It did idle kind of sluggish. So I'm going to do it the way I've kind of always been taught. I made a better mark on TDC. It's right there. And we will set the timing at full advance, which in this case is going to be 30 degrees at about 3,000 RPMs. So we'll start the car up, rev it up to 3,000, see where our, see where our timing ends up, line up the marks. I'll get it advanced to 30 degrees and turn the distributor to make everything happy. So we set full advance at 30 degrees, and just for the heck of it, I'm going to see what it is at idle. So I let it idle, check the timing, and it's about 5 degrees advanced at idle. So you just kind of let the idle timing fall where it is. So we're timed, we're running, and let's take a quick look under the car and see what we have. Got a little puddle of oil right there. So we will need to investigate where that is coming from and get that fixed.